You don't remember what you had for lunch 3 days ago, but you remember the exact moment in 7th grade when you called your teacher Mom in front of the entire class. You remember the room. You remember the faces. You remember the specific shade of humiliation that crawled up your neck and didn't leave for a week. That was over a decade ago. The lunch was yesterday. Your brain is not confused. Your brain is not broken. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do, and that design is 50,000 years old, built for a world that no longer exists, running quietly in the background of everything you do. And once you understand what it's actually doing, you'll never look at your own embarrassment the same way again. Think of your brain as an archivist. Every second of every day, it receives more information than it could ever store. Sounds, faces, temperatures, conversations, meals, textures, emotions, an endless flood of data coming in from every direction. So it makes a decision. Every single moment. It asks one question. Does this matter for survival? If the answer is no, it deletes it. Your lunch from 3 days ago? Calories consumed. Threat level, 0. Filed under irrelevant and quietly erased within 48 hours. But the moment you walked into a room and everyone turned to look at you and you realized your shirt was inside out, threat level, critical. Full recording, emotional timestamp attached, cross-reference with every similar event in your life history, stored in high definition in a part of your brain that does not forget. This is not a malfunction. This is a system working exactly as intended. The problem is, the system was built for a completely different world. 60,000 years ago, you didn't live in a city. You didn't have a phone. You didn't have a job you could quit or a neighborhood you could move to if things went wrong. You lived in a group of roughly 50 to 150 people, the same people every day for your entire life. And in that world, your reputation wasn't just important, it was the only thing standing between you and death. If the tribe trusted you, you ate. You were protected. You had access to resources, to mates, to shelter when the rains came. If the tribe stopped trusting you, if you were seen as a burden, a liability, a threat, or simply someone who didn't belong, you were excluded. And exclusion in the ancient world didn't mean awkward family dinners and passive-aggressive text messages. Exclusion meant you walked into the wilderness alone. No tools, no fire, no protection from predators, no food source. Exclusion meant death. Slow, certain, and alone. So your brain evolved to treat social threat with the same severity it treated physical threat. A predator in the bush and a crowd of people laughing at you, your brain filed both of them under the same category. Danger. Record everything. Do not forget. Neuroscientists call it the social threat memory bias. When something threatens your social standing, rejection, humiliation, public failure, embarrassment, your brain triggers the amygdala, the same alarm system that fires when you narrowly avoid a car accident, the same system that kept your ancestors alive in the Kalahari. The amygdala doesn't evaluate context. It doesn't know you're in 2024. It doesn't know the people who saw you trip in the cafeteria have completely forgotten about it and moved on with their lives. It just knows social threat detected. Encode with maximum intensity. Attach emotional weight. Make sure this never happens again. And here's the cruel part. The stronger the emotional charge attached to a memory, the longer and more vividly it is retained. This is why you remember exactly where you were when you heard devastating news. This is why first heartbreaks feel permanently carved into you. And this is why a single embarrassing moment can echo in your mind for a decade while 10,000 ordinary meals dissolve into nothing. Your brain isn't punishing you. It's trying to protect you. It tagged that memory as a survival lesson. Don't let this happen again. The tribe was watching. There's a group of people in the Kalahari Desert who have lived largely the same way for over 20,000 years, the hoansi. Anthropologists have studied them more thoroughly than almost any other group of hunter-gatherers alive. And one of the things that stands out is how seriously the hoansi treat social reputation. In their world, a hunter who brags about a kill is considered dangerous, not annoying,
dangerous because pride threatens the group's equality. A man who thinks himself above others is a man who might one day take more than his share. So when a skilled hunter returns with a large animal, something that took real skill and effort, the other members of the group will casually mock the kill. They'll say it's small. They'll say it's barely enough to eat. They'll tease him and undercut the achievement. And the hunter, if he understands his world, will agree with them. This is called exado, a deliberate social leveling mechanism. It keeps no single person's status too high. It keeps the group balanced. Because in a world where reputation determines survival, unchecked pride is a threat to everyone. Your brain grew up in that world. The same instincts that made the hoansi hunter agree that his kill was small, those instincts are what make you replay your embarrassing moments on a loop at 2 a.m., recalculating what you should have said, what you should have done, how you could have preserved your standing in the group. Your brain is running threat analysis on a social world that no longer exists. Here's where it gets darker. The modern world has done something your brain was never built to handle. It has made your tribe infinite. For 50,000 years, you only had to manage your reputation with 50 to 150 people. People who knew you, people who saw your full context, people who understood that the bad moment was one moment inside a whole life. Now, you can be witnessed by millions, instantly, permanently. A single video, a single post, a single moment caught on someone's phone, and your brain responds to all of it with the same ancient machinery. It cannot distinguish between one person laughing at you and 10 million people laughing at you. It cannot process the internet has moved on because its reference point is a tribe of 80 people who lived together for decades and forgot nothing. This is why public embarrassment in the digital age hits with a force that feels completely disproportionate, because your brain is treating a Twitter ratio like a tribal exile verdict. The machinery is ancient, the scale is new, and nothing in your neurology has caught up with the difference. So what do you do with this? You can't delete the memories, you can't rewire the amygdala, you can't convince 50,000 years of evolutionary programming to calm down because the 7th grade was a long time ago. But you can understand what the system is actually doing. Every embarrassing memory your brain has held onto, every cringe moment that surfaces at 3 a.m., is your brain presenting you with what it believes is a critical survival file. It archived it because it loved you enough to say, "Don't let this happen again." The problem is, the threat it's protecting you from, tribal exile, social death, exclusion from the group, that threat has a radically different shape now than it did then. You're not going to be exiled into the wilderness for mispronouncing a word. You're not going to starve because someone saw you trip on a staircase. The tribe is gone. The filing system remains. And once you understand that, once you recognize the 3 a.m. replay loop for what it is, an ancient protection mechanism running in a world it was never designed for, you can start to watch it without being destroyed by it. Your brain remembered the embarrassment because it thought you needed it to survive. You don't. But it's good to know someone back there is still trying to keep you alive. The lunch is gone, the memory stays. Not because your brain is broken, but because somewhere deep in your wiring, you're still a member of a tribe that no longer exists. If this made you think about something you haven't thought about in a while, good, that's the point. Subscribe if you want more of this. New video every week, and I'll see you in the next one.